Hey guys out there, welcome to episode 2 of the Coach Hemi vlog. Just want to jump right into it. Since I last talked to you guys, I've had 2 scrimmages so far. And, all my fellow coaches out there, scrimmages are a great test to kind of see where you are as a team, the things you've been implementing or working on, practicing. Are they holding any water, holding any weight with the players? Are you learning things, picking them up? Are the emphasis you're putting on in practice, are they being retained? And, as a JV head coach, every year we deal with new players, new faces, whether it be freshmen who are very talented or sophomores who played freshman a year before and are, still trying to figure out their way through the waters of high school basketball. So, as a JV coach, I learned that you get varying levels of talent every year. And that's the biggest test for me as a coach, to see if what I can teach them can be retained and also they can, feel confident doing it in the game. During this year with COVID, not having a great summer to kind of gel with those new players. Previous years, we've had a few different camps we went to or had a lot more time to have, player workouts or just getting to know my players a little more through just seeing them in the gym, weightlifting. As coaches, we can send out all the workouts we want them to do, work on, whether it be ball handling, shooting, skill work, in terms of just, kind of fine-tuning certain things, picking roles, stuff like that, and also conditioning with COVID and type players that, have been kind of coming up the last few years. It's just tough. And I'm saying that now. Our first scrimmage we had, really good, played a decent team, but we were better overall, and a lot of our freshmen played really well. First high school experience playing basketball. And I saw a lot of great things. The varsity coach saw a lot of good things. We can, kind of help grow. A lot of potential there for our younger players. But also seeing a lot of areas where draw talent alone is not going to help. Whether it be reading defenses as an offensive player. And that's one of the biggest things I've seen the last few years in my coaching and just kind of being a basketball enthusiast, especially on the women's side and the girls' side in high school. Players get to high school, and the ones who don't play a lot, they just kind of play the recreational or they just play during the season. The minute parts of the game is the parts that suffer, whether it be being able to read what the defense is doing, read what the offense is doing when you're playing defense, being able to kind of govern pick and rolls, knowing what to do when you're in trouble. Just the basketball things you pick up after just playing over and over and over and over are sometimes things that take a lot more time to teach. I can work on pick and rolls 20 minutes a day, every day. But I'm learning that you kind of got to pick and choose what to work on throughout the season. You don't have enough time. You do not have enough time, especially with freshmen who aren't really basketball players, they're just athletes. And it's not a knock. I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just hard to do. I'm learning. It happened last year. We started off 0-10. We finished 5-15. So we had a great second half of the year. That first half of the year was tough. Just trying to figure out, okay, what we're good at. How can I lean on those strengths and make them better, and kind of either hide our weaknesses or improve them enough to where they're not glaring. And my word of the day is perseverance. That's been my biggest thing the last few days. Just understanding, okay, it's the beginning of the season. We are 2 weeks away from our season opener at home, and like any coach, I want to win. And I was thinking the other day, I'm not the type of coach who makes players fit into my system, because as a high school coach who's not at a very highly touted school, you get what you get. You have tryouts, they come, they work work their butts off. You pick the best players you can, pick the best players for your system, and that's what you get. And during practices and scrimmages, you see, okay, what are players good at? Where can I help them improve? And are the weaknesses that bad to where they either can't play or we can't figure out ways to help make them a little better throughout the year? And that's been my biggest challenge of figuring out, okay, what are our strengths? And as a basketball coach, how can I put my players in positions to be successful? And by being successful, not asking players to do things they either aren't good at or they just can't do. And, in my past, I've seen coaches do that. They ask a lot of players who just frankly can't do certain things, and it's kind of like you can't get upset or really feel bad when this player is trying and they can't. It's just, as a coach, you have to see that. You have to see that. And, you want everybody to play. It's tough. But, like I said, perseverance. I'm going to say that word a lot. Next few minutes. It's just been my biggest. That's the word I say to myself almost every other day. Just persevere, because I love basketball. The season's great. I love coaching. The kids are great. You can burn out if you don't really love the game, love doing what you're doing. And you got to persevere. So many days I go to practice and I'm just like, okay, I got my plan. And as you're going in, you say to yourself, I'm seeing things we need to get better at right now in this workout. And you have to make a decision. Okay, tomorrow, do we just scratch what I want to do and just kind of fine tune this? But then, we got to put in an offense, put in our defense principles. You got to have an out of bounds play. You got to have your side out of bounds. You got to have counters to those things. And you can be as simple as you want, but at the same time, they got to know the stuff. And that just comes with reps. And I got an hour and a half every day of practice. Sometimes an hour and 45. You got those players in there who, frankly, can't do certain drills, but you want them to be able to learn basketball. That's been my biggest thing, is I want them players who aren't that great to get better, but at what cost are you hindering the players who can do it and just need a little bit more fine tuning? You got your players who, okay, you get through this drill, through this exercise pretty quickly. I want to teach you a few things to kind of help you get better. But then you got your players who, they can't do it at all. You got to spend 10 minutes with them, and there goes your time with your girls who are going to play or your guys who are going to play a lot. So it's just trying to fine tune that right time. I never wanted to be the coach who didn't allow people to practice. They just kind of stand around and play defense, or they just stand around and just look all day. But at what cost to your better players, your starters, your players who get minutes, And that's kind of my biggest this year so far. We're 3 weeks in the official season, and maybe about 2 months of actual seeing my players and working out with them. And it's just one of those things. It's a well brought on challenge. I like the challenge, but a challenge nonetheless. So just sticking with it, persevering, and knowing just from my previous experience, there's light at the end of the tunnel. For any of those coaches out there, you think, hey, I'm in the same boat, I know what to do. Just keep doing what you're doing, implementing. They get it. Some players, they don't want to get it, but it's just by being around, they kind of, but the ones that really, really want to get better, they understand what you're doing, and they soak it up. So just persevere, keep pushing through, don't give up. Your plan will work. And it just validates me at the end of the year when I see parents, other coaches, especially other coaches. You play them again beginning of the year, they blow your socks off. You play them again 2 months later, a month later, and they go, hey man, you win or lose, you guys are better. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. That's big. Having parents come up to you, they'll see you every game, and towards the end of the season, hey coach, whatever you've been doing, you're doing great. The girls love you. They like coming to practice, and they're getting better. Those things are things I look for as a coach. Not so much for validation, but just know, okay, the process works, and it's going to continue to work. So stay with it. So just persevere. That's my biggest piece of advice, and just don't give up. But appreciate you guys sticking with me. This is episode 2. We'll see you guys later on in the future. Hey, go get them wins.